ब्रह्मनाथ ओ शांति 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 स्वस्थ। Hello students, in the previous class we discussed about the important superclass that is your Pisces. Under the Pisces we discussed four important classes: Chondrichthyes, Osteichthyes, then the Holocephaly and lastly the Dipnoi. Obviously Pisces means what? Simply Pisces means fishes. If we are telling the Pisces, then we are pointing towards the fishes. Then in the Chondrichthyes we discussed that the endoskeleton is made up of the cartilage. That is why it is also called the cartilaginous fish. In the Osteichthyes we discussed that the endoskeleton is basically made up of the, or we can say it is bony. That is why it is called the bony fish. Also the Osteichthyes it is also called the bony fish. And also we discussed various examples. Also in the case of the Chondrichthyes we discussed common examples such as your shark, the Scalodon soraco, that scientific name. In the case of the bony fish we discussed the common example that you regularly eat, that is your rohu, Labio, Rohita, and also we have drawn the diagram of the Ketla Ketla. Under the Holocephaly also we discussed so many general points having the diagram, having the example Chimera, and also under the Dipnoi we discussed so many points and also discussed the example that is your, we can say, the Protopteros. So like this we discussed all the detailed general characteristics that are included under the important superclass, we can say Pisces. Today students, we will read about another superclass, another important superclass, that is your Tetrapoda. So as I always do, means before going to our core topic that is your Tetrapoda, let's have once more a brief recap on the classification. As we know, notochord is present, that is what is called the chordata. A chordata is being divided into two types, acraniata and the craniata. Acraniata means cranium is absent, and also the notochord is not developed into vertebral column. But in the case of the craniata, cranium is present, and also in this case the notochord is being developed into vertebral column, or we can say notochord is replaced by the vertebral column. That is why it is also called the vertebrates. I am not writing all the detail, I am just doing a recap of this concept. Craniata is further divided into agnatha and the gnathostomata on the presence of jaw. In the agnatha means jaw is absent, but in gnathostomata the jaw bearing mouth is present. Further, the gnathostomata means the jaw bearing mouth organisms is divided into two superclasses. Remember, under the agnatha only one class is present, that is called the cyclostomata. But in the case of the gnathostomata, two superclasses there. Under that we discuss various classes, and as in the Pisces we discuss four classes, under the Tetrapoda we will discuss so many classes. So student, gnathostomata is divided into two superclass, Pisces and Tetrapoda. Today our point of discussion is your Tetrapoda. For the Tetrapoda is divided into four classes. It is divided into four classes. Okay, four classes. First one is your amphibia. Amphibia. Second one is your reptilia. Reptilia. Okay. Third one we can say the apes. Fourth one is your mammalia. Okay. Amphibia, you can take example frogs. Reptilia, the lizards, crocodiles, apes, general the birds. Mammalia, common example is us. Okay. So in each class we will discuss each of the classes. Okay, each of the class. Today our point of discussion will be some general characteristics of the Tetrapoda and also a brief detail about the amphibians. Okay. Friends, you can see Tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means tetra means four. poda means feet, means simply the organism having 4 feet are belongs to the tetrapoda organism, or the tetrapoda, we can say the superclass. Okay, so let's have some general points. First point, they are found in the, we can say they are generally terrestrial, means they are found in the land, and some are aquatic. Okay, mostly tetrapods which we see means you can take example of the cow, you can take the example of the dog or human being or monkey, or we can say any means the having the 4 feet animals, they basically live in the land. Some live in the water. So we can write our first point. Generally, the tetrapods are terrestrial, some are aquatic. Okay, means maximum case the tetrapoda are the case of the terrestrial, but some are, we can say, the aquatic. Okay, terrestrial means obviously they live on the land. Next point, paired appendages are present with pentadactyl limbs. Paired appendages means what? Appendages means we can say the limbs. Okay, appendages means we can say we have the hand and the leg. So similarly, they should have the 4 feet, means in our case the front, or we can say the forelimb is being modified into the hand. Okay, and the hind limb is being modified into the leg. So similarly, in the cow they have all the 4 legs. Okay, so we can say that the paired appendages should be present with pentadactyl limbs, means pentadactyls means 5 fingers should be there. You can tell that in all the cases we don't found the pentadactyl, but yes, in some cases the pentadactyl, some is being reduced, some are being magnified. But the pentadactyl, in the maximum case, the pentadactyl is being present, and obviously some exceptions are always there, but in the maximum case, the characteristics is that it consists of the pentadactyl limbs. Okay, so we can write our next point. Paired appendages okay, with pentadactyl limb, Okay, next, the body is covered by the we can say the scales, next the feathers in the case of the birds, or also we can say the hair. In our case also, our complete body is being covered by the hair. Okay, in some cases, in some human beings it is more prominent, in some human being it is being less prominent, but our all the outer covering is generally covered by the hair, and also some prominently in the case of the monkey you can see you can see the prominent hair. In the case of the dog, some dog also you can see the prominent hair. So we can say the next important characteristics of the tetrapoda is the body is covered by the horny scales, the feathers, and also we can say the hairs. The body is covered by horny scales. Okay, next the feathers in the case of the birds, and we can say the hairs. Okay, the body is basically covered by the horny scales, or we can say the feathers and also the hairs. Next, what is the type of respiration that is being carried out in the case of the tetrapoda? The respiration is generally done by the lungs. That is why we can say the type of respiration in the case of the tetrapoda generally is called a pulmonary respiration. As we know, the type of respiration, if it is done by the lungs, then the type of respiration should be, we can say, the pulmonary respiration. Don't worry, respiration, after this our next topic is respiration. You have a detailed idea about the respiration. As of now, you just remember. So the respiration is by the lungs. That is why it is called, the type of respiration is called the pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration. Okay. Last point. How many chambers of the heart is present? Okay, as in our case, the heart is 4 chamber. In some the cases, organism under the tetrapoda, they have the 3 chambered heart. So we can generally write the heart in the case of the tetrapoda is from 3 to 4 chambered. Okay, so we can write animals have 3 to 4 chambered heart. 4 chambered heart. Okay, 4 chambered heart. So we discussed so many important points under the tetrapoda before going to in the detail the discussion of the amphibia. First point, these are generally terrestrial, some are aquatic. Paired appendages should be present with the pentadactyl limb, means having the 5 fingers. Body is generally covered by, it may be by horny scales, or it may be by the feathers, or it may be by the heads. Okay, and respiration is generally done by the lungs. That is why it is called, the type of respiration is called a pulmonary respiration. And lastly, the animals have the 3 to 4 chambered heart. Okay, so this is all about some general points under the tetrapoda. Please note down. Now come to some general points under the class amphibia. Students, if we will go by the word meaning, then amphibia, amphi means we can say both, means they can survive both in land also, they can also survive in the water also. And bios means obviously life, means those organisms which can basically survive in both the habitat, or we can say in the land also. That is why they are called the terrestrial, and also in the water. That is why they are called also aquatic. So we can write our first point. They can generally, we can say both. They can survive both in the land and also in the water. So we can write our next point. Animals are both terrestrial and aquatic. Terrestrial means, for your understanding, I am writing land. Okay, and as well as, or we will write as well as, animals are both terrestrial as well as aquatic, as well as aquatic. And mostly aquatic means we are relating here with the fresh water. Always remember, aquatic means we are always remembering here we are belonging, or we are denoting to the fresh water, not marine water. Okay, aquatic means we can say the fresh water. Okay, next point. Simply students, here I have taken the example of the hyla. See, frog, toad, those are separate organisms. Okay, this is the case of the hyla. Okay, so you can simply say, see, the body is divided into the head, trunk, and also tail is being divided, but in this case it is not being prominent. Always remember, in the case of the amphibia, the body is generally divided into 3 distinct regions: the head region, the trunk region, and the tail region. In some organism, the tail may be not so prominent, and in some cases like your amphibia such as your salamander, the tail is mostly prominent. So we can write our next point. The body is divided into head, trunk, and tail. Into head, trunk, and tail. Head, trunk, and tail. Okay. Next point. You can see paired appendages are present having the pentadactyl limbs. Okay. We can write our next point. Paired appendages are present having pentadactyl pentadactyl limbs. Okay, having pentadactyl limbs, dactyl limbs. Okay, next, what is the type of skin in the case of the tetrapod, means in the case of the amphibia? The skin is basically smooth, glandular. Glandular means what? Some sort of secretion is always being secreted. Smooth, glandular, moist and without scale. First I will write, then I will tell you. The skin is smooth, moist, glandular and without scale. Okay, see, so what this point denote? See, always the skin is basically smooth, moist means slippery, means somehow we can say some fluid like secretion always takes place. And the glandular means always the secretion must be going on from the outer skin. So we can say, and also scale are completely absent. So skin is smooth, moist and glandular. Okay, you might have known, means you have also feel in somehow if you have touched any sort of frog or toad or something like that, you can see they are very much slippery like. Okay, why? Because the skin is like glandular secretion. The skin is about, we can say it is about moist in nature always, and also the body is something we can see, if we can touch, then those are very much smoother. Okay, or we can say it is smooth, the skin is very much smooth. So we can tell the next point is we can say the skin is smooth, moist, glandular and without the scales. Scales are completely absent. Next point we can tell, you can see here a red like structure, that are oval like structure, that the tympanum is generally present. The tympanum, you can see here, the tympanum is generally present. The tympanum, students, it is generally concerned with the hearing purpose. Okay, it related with the hearing purpose, it helps for the hearing of the, we can say, in the amphibian cases. So we can write a pair of tympanum is present. Okay, next point, the pair of tympanum is present. Next point, how does the respiration is being done? Basically, in the case of the amphibia, in the adult stage the respiration is generally done by the lungs, but in the case of the early stages, students, the respiration can be cutaneous or it can be buccopharyngeal. Buccopharyngeal means by the help of the buccal cavity and the pharynx. So we can write our next point. Cutaneous means by the help of the skin. The respiration, or we can say in the adult stage, the respiration is done by, in adult stage the respiration is done by the lungs. Okay, but in the early stages, what I have told, in the early stages the cutaneous and the buccopharyngeal respiration is being seen. Cutaneous means by the means of the skin, and buccopharyngeal means by the means of the buccal cavity and the pharynx region. Buccal pharyngeal respiration is being seen. Respiration is seen. Okay, is seen. Okay, so some general points that we discussed under the amphibia. Animals are both, as it is called, the amphi means both terrestrial and also aquatic. So basically the animals are both terrestrial, means living on the land, and also aquatic means in the water, but here we are denoting only to the fresh water. The body is divided into three distinct regions: head, trunk and tail. You can see here, if we will take the complete diagram of the hyla, see students, this one is your head, this one you can see the prominent eye, Okay, this one is your in the next point I have said that the paired appendages are present, okay, with the pentadactyl limbs. So you can see here paired appendages. This one is your forelimb. This one is your, we can say, the hind limb. Okay, and students, you can see here the cloaca aperture is present. Okay, for the elimination of the undigested food particles, the cloaca aperture is present. Then webby-like structure is present. What it is called? The web-like structure. You might have seen in the case of the frog. Generally, in the front limb or forelimb or the hind limb, this is your, we can say, the finger. Some sort of webby-like structure is present. Means those have the interconnected those digits or the fingers. Okay, those are the, we can say, the webby-like structure. Okay. Basically in the water also it helps in swimming also. It have the various important functions. Okay, so those are called your, we can say, the web, and this one is your web hand limb, and obviously these are the pentadactyl limbs, means having the 5 fingers. Okay, and the body is divided into head, trunk, and mostly in some organism tail is present. Such basically some organism the tail is not more prominent, and also some organism the tail is much prominent, such as your common example, that is your salamander. And the skin, as we discussed, it is basically smooth, moist, glandular, but without any sort of scale, means the scale is completely absent. Okay, so as much I have told all the point, paired appendages are present having pentadactyl limbs, skin is smooth, moist, glandular and without scales. A pair of tympanum is present. Yes, this one is called a tympanum, which helps for the hearing purpose. And also in adult stage, the respiration is done generally by the lungs, means the pulmonary respiration is being done. But in the early stages, students, cutaneous, means by the help of the skin, respiration is being done. Buccopharyngeal means buccal cavity in the pharynx region, the respiration is being done. Okay, so these are some general points of the amphibia. Please note down. Now, student, come to your some more general points under the amphibia. What is the, we can say, how many chamber is being present in the case of the amphibia? So we can say the heart is of, we can say, 3 chambered. The heart is 3 chambered. The heart is 3 chambered, having 2 auricles and 1 ventricles. 1 ventricle. Okay, generally we have discussed that in the case of the, we can say, the tetrapoda, the heart is of 3 to 4 chambered, but especially in the case of the amphibia, the heart is 3 chambered, means having the 2 auricle and 1 ventricle. Next point is, we can say, kidney. Kidney in the case of the amphibia, it is of mesonephric type. As we discussed so many types, that is your, the less developed is your pronephric, then mesonephric, the most developed one is your metanephric. So in the case of the amphibia, the kidney is of, we can say, the mesonephric type of kidney is found. So we can write our next point. Kidney is of mesonephric type. Mesonephric type means the kidney is found in the case of the amphibia is generally the mesonephric type. Next point, how is the skull is being like? The skull consists of, or we can say the skull is dicondylic. Dicondylic means presence of 2 occipital condyle bone. Okay, so we can write the skull is dicondylic, means having 2 occipital bone. 2 occipital condyle bone. Condyle bone. Okay. Okay, students. See, skull is dicondylic means what? Means in the back of, like, means here in the skull, it is consist of 2 we can say occipital condyle bones, means these are something we can say if two occipital condyle bones are present, then it will related to the dicondylic. If one occipital condyle bone is present, then it will be related to the, we can say, the monocondylic. We will discuss what is the monocondylic, but in this case the skull is dicondylic, means consists of two occipital condyle bone. Okay. Next, the organism having the of the amphibia, they are either the cold-blooded or the warm-blooded. Yes, basically they are the cold-blooded or the poikilothermic animals. These are the cold-blooded or poikilothermic animals. Okay, means what? As we discussed, warm-blooded we discussed, cold-blooded we discussed. As in our case, we are warm-blooded, means whatever the temperature changes in our surrounding, but our body temperature, that is your 37 degrees centigrade, always remain constant. You go anywhere, you go to hotter area, you go to the cold area, our body temperature remains constant because we are warm-blooded. But in the case of the cold-blooded or the poikilothermic, that is in the case of the amphibia, what happens? They adjust their body temperature according to the surrounding. If the outer temperature is too much hotter, then their body temperature will increase. If the outer temperature is too much lower, then their body temperature will decrease. Means their body temperature is not constant. Their body temperature changes with according to the environment. So that is why those are called, or we can say, the cold-blooded animals. Next point. Cranial nerves. How many pairs of cranial nerves are present? In the case of amphibia, the 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. Cranial nerves means the nerves which are arised from the brain. So we can write 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. Okay. Next point. Can you see in the hyla or in the frog or in the toad, external ear such as we have is present? No. No external ear is present, but internal ear consists of the ear ossicle bone. Okay, as in our case, we consist of the ear ossicle bones such as your malleus, incus, stapes. We will read in detail in our coming classes. But in the case of the amphibia, internal ear, no external ear, but internal ear is present, which consists of one ear ossicle bone, that is called a columella. So next point. No external ear, but internal ear consists of ear ossicle bone, that is called your columella. Okay, the external ear is completely absent, but the internal ear consists of the ear ossicle bone, that is called your columella. This is important. Okay, what is the ear ossicle bone that is present in the case of the amphibia? Then your answer will be columella. Okay, next point. What is the type of excretion that it takes place in the case of the amphibia? The type of excretion is we can say, the ureotelic excretion. Ureotelic means they generally excrete the urea as their waste product. The excretion is ureotelic, means they generally eliminate urea. Okay, or I will read in detail. Excrete urea. Now clear? Okay, that is why they are called the ureotelic animals. Next point. In the case of the amphibia, those are basically the oviparous. Oviparous means what? Egg laying animals. See student, there are two types of organisms. Generally there are two types. One is your oviparous, other one is your viviparous. Viviparous means they generally gives birth to the young ones, as in our case in the human being. But in the case of the oviparous means they egg lay, or we can say the egg laying animals. So we can write in the case of the amphibia, those are the viviparous oviparous. These are the oviparous, means the egg laying animals. Oviparous. Okay, oviparous means what? Egg laying animals. Okay, egg laying animals. How the fertilization is being done? Fertilization is external, development is, we can say, indirect, having the tadpole larva. Fertilization is external, fertilization is external, development is indirect. Development is indirect, having larva, tadpole larva, having tadpole larva. Okay, you know, indirect the development means obviously the larva will be present, so it will be called your tadpole larva. Okay, so next point, the common example is called your ichthyophyes. Okay, ichthyophyes are basically, we can say, the limbless amphibia. Limbless amphibia. Next, you can take example such as your salamander, the tail bearing amphibia. Salamander, the tail bearing amphibia. The tail bearing amphibia. And also, as I have taken here example, hyla also you can take. Hyla, toad, etc. You can take anything. Toad, etc. Okay. So, and also, yes, one important point, that is your cloaca. Cloaca is also present. Have I written? No. Include here. Here write cloaca. Here I have given in the diagram, the cloaca is present. Okay, for elimination of the waste product. Okay, the cloaca is also present in the case of the amphibia. So student, what important points we discussed? That basically the heart is of 3 chambered, having 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Okay, next point, the kidney is generally mesonephric type. Okay, means we have the metanephric, they have the mesonephric type kidney. The skull is dicondylic. Okay, dicondylic. Dicondylic means 2 occipital condyle bone is present. 2 occipital condyle bone is present. These are the basically cold-blooded or the poikilothermic animals. 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. Cranial nerves means what? The nerves which arises from the brain. You can write for your understanding. Nerves arising from brain. Okay, the nerves arising from the brain, those are called your the cranial nerves. 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. Obviously the cloaca, as it is being seen, cloaca is being present. Next, no external ear is present, but internal ear consists of the ear ossicle bone, that is called your columella. Excretion is generally ureotelic, the means it excretes the urea. Oviparous means these are the egg-laying animals. Fertilization is external, but the development is indirect, having the larva. Okay, that is called the tadpole larva. Okay, and lastly the common example you can take, such as your ichthyophyes. Okay, in which these are called the limbless amphibia. Salamander, which these are called the tail bearing amphibia, and the hyla, as we have done the diagram of the hyla, and also you know the toad. Okay, so students, we discussed today in detail about the, first we discussed general characteristics of the tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means what? It consists of tetrapoda, means 4 feet organism, basically belongs to the tetrapoda. Under the tetrapoda we discussed so many general points. Okay, Then also we discussed today the first class, that is, or we can say that is under the tetrapoda, that is, or we can say the class Amphibia. Amphibia means, amphi means two or both. It can survive in both the environment. It can survive in the land also, it can survive in the water also. Also we discussed so many points that the body is divided into head, trunk and tail. Cloaca is present, and the paired appendages are present with pentadactyl limbs. Web-like structure is present in the we can say the near the digit, by which they can easily, it helps in the swimming purpose also, and also it have the various other functions. The basically one pair of the tympanum is present, which basically here which helps in the hearing purpose. The skin is basically smooth, glandular, or we can say moist, but without any scale. Okay. Next we discussed that in the case of the amphibia, basically the respiration is being done in the case of the adult by the lungs, but in the case of the early stages, the cutaneous and the buccopharyngeal respiration is being seen. And also we discussed that the excretion in the case of the amphibia is ureotelic, means they excrete generally the urea. And also we discussed the fertilization is external, the development is indirect, that is why it have the larval stage, that is called a tadpole larva. Okay. And also lastly the examples: ichthyophys having the limbless amphibia, salamander, tail bearing amphibia, the hyla, toad, etc. Okay. So today we discussed completely about the first class under the tetrapoda, that is your amphibia. So that's all for today. We will meet in our next class. Thank you.